Thank you to Base44 for sponsoring this video. Look at this. This is an app I built with Base44 in just 15 minutes. By the end of the video, you are going to learn how to build an app in Base44 with a backend database, a login, and how to publish it on the internet, even if you've never built an app before. Be sure to follow along closely. So we're going to go ahead and send off this prompt. Create an app for meal planning and recipes. We're going to have a grid of recipes, an optional meal plan view, and a form to add or edit recipes. Now we're entering plan mode here in Base44, which I like using because it allows us to basically get a better first version of the app, because Base44 is going to ask us some questions to basically get exactly what we want. So it's asking first, who is it for? I'm going to say this is for multiple users. What is the primary focus of the app? I'm going to say recipe collection and discovery. Preferred visual style, let's say clean and minimal. So I'm going to send off those 3 answers. And then based on those answers, Base44 is going to continue working. Now, this is going to be a full stack app. It's going to include a backend database, user authentication, and also deployment. So everything is going to be built in, and I'm going to show you start to finish how to do it with Base44. Base44 created a plan. You can read it over, and if you want to make any changes, you can send messages. I think it looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and click Start Building. So now that we went through the plan mode, we're here in the editor, and the difference if you didn't use plan mode is you would jump in here right away. But I think it takes just a minute to do the plan mode, and it's going to get you a better result. So I do recommend doing it. You can also enable browser notifications, which is nice if you want to go off and do something else while it's building. I'm just going to exit out for now though. And on the left side, you can see what's happening. So it's what files it's writing. This is kind of a nice live view into what the agent is doing. And then on the right side, we're going to be able to see the preview once it's built. And I'm also going to jump into the dashboard later on and show you some more advanced features like syncing to GitHub. I think you might be surprised about how advanced Base44 actually can be, while at the same time being really simple to get started, even if you've never built a website before. Our first version is created. And what's nice is that it creates sample recipes, so sample data. And I'm going to show you in a second where that data is stored. So that way you can view what this actually looks like, as opposed to it just being an empty page if it didn't have any data or sample recipes, basically. So let's just quickly test this out. And then I'm going to add some more features and talk more about the full stack aspect of this, so the backend database and the user authentication. So here you can click through, and it looks like different recipes have tags on them so that you can easily get to different recipes. We can check out the search feature. So if I type in curry, the Thai green curry is going to show up. And then the meal plan feature allows users to go in and select a meal to add to that specific day. So you probably wouldn't want curry for breakfast, so I'm going to exit out of that, and looks like that worked. So removing a recipe here as another, just something you want to test to make sure everything's working correctly. But let's say we want to put that for dinner on Monday. And then we can go ahead and click add recipe. And it looks like right now that they have just kind of a manual recipe feature to add recipes manually. Could be cool to be able to do this with AI, which would be definitely something you can do with Base44, and you can do that without having to add any API key for OpenAI. It can all be integrated into Base44. So right now we just have the recipe page and the meal plan page. And if we go to the dashboard, I'm going to show you a few important things, and then we're going to jump into building on top of this. So first, you can see on the data tab, there's the database built in, the recipe and the meal plan. One thing we're missing right now is users. So like for users, we have us. It by default creates an admin user of yourself, but we don't have a way right now for people to actually create accounts, log in, create their own recipes, their own meal plans. So that's what we're going to do next. But this is where everything is stored. So we have the users and the data tab right here. There's some cool features built in, like analytics. We have a growth feature. This is new to Base44, so it's the ability to basically optimize your site for SEO and GEO. And then also social content, where you can analyze your app and give you content and tailored post ideas to share. So this is another interesting feature. It looks like it's brand new. So if we click get started, it's going to analyze the app. And maybe we'll come back to that in a few minutes later in the video after it's finished analyzing. So we'll go into more detail in this shortly. In the meantime, what I want to do is send off another prompt, and then we can get back to some of the social AI features that I think are going to be really cool to see. But I want to send off a prompt now so that it's going to be working in the meantime. So I'll say this looks like a great start. Can we add user authentication so each user can have their own meal plan? So we're going to send that off. Base44 is going to start working on it. So it says it already has that built in, but it needs to scope the meal plan to the current user. But I don't see a way to log out or log in. Maybe I'm logged in right now by default, but we need a log out button and then make sure there's a way for users to log in or create an account. So I'm going to send that off as well. Okay. While it's doing that, let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go to that growth feature under social content. So I'm really interested. So what does success look like for this launch? So let's say I really want 100 signups. What's the sharpest thing that makes this different? I'm going to say community recipe sharing. That's pretty cool. Now it's going to be creating our content strategy. You can review it, suggested approach, target platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit. You can add an X profile to adapt the post to our tone, our writing tone that exists already. I'm going to leave that blank and click generate posts. I'm really curious to see if this is actually good. This is a super interesting direction that Base44 is going, and it aligns with the way that I am thinking about vibe coding and the whole way that the internet is moving, that the ability to build apps is getting easier, but the ability to get users for your apps is going to get harder because there's going to be so many more apps and more competition. And the bar is, I think, raised for what people are expecting. So I'm really curious to see what kind of social content this is going to create and if this is something we would actually be able to use. Okay. So it looks like it created Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit. These images are not bad. They're maybe not amazing, but as a starting point, it's not bad, and it creates text so you can copy it. TikTok, let's see. Again, I don't know how well this is going to perform. I think this is like the first version of this. I could imagine a really cool feature in the future where like it actually generates videos that are actually good with UGC content. There's a lot that this could do in the future. Okay, here's Reddit. Again, I think it's a really cool starting point. I think that what would be the next level on Reddit would be to tell us maybe which subreddits we should post in, as opposed to just giving us these posts. So that would be kind of the next step. But overall, really cool that it's doing this, and there's even a download content button, so you can do that as well. All right, so Base44 finished this feature. So now we have the ability to log out. So why don't we do that and then see what it looks like to log in? So I'm going to log out, and it looks like it's just logging me in by default because I'm in the editor as an admin. So we can test out that login feature once we publish it and we're like on the internet, logged out, and make sure that it works. But by default, it looks like it did build that, and you can log out, and then we'll check out the login feature shortly once we actually publish it and move on to the deployment side of things. Okay, so off the bat, so we have this cool growth feature, which is cool. You can add your own custom domain. So this is where we start thinking about deployment. You can add your own custom domain and deploy to your own custom domain. Otherwise, you can publish just on Base44's own domain. Integrations. So right now, you need to upgrade your plan to do this. That's something else that's actually really cool because all of this is on the free plan. So you can click the link in the description, do all of this for free. And then once you're ready to add some of these additional features, like integrations or your own custom domain, you can upgrade your account. You can also sync to GitHub, but you need to upgrade your account as well for that. And then you can get all the code off of Base44. And then you can use something like Claude Code, or if you want to go more advanced in the future, you can do that. Or you can just use everything here inside of Base44 if you just want to keep it simple. For most of the apps that I'm building with Base44, when I wanted to build like a prototype, an internal app, something like that, it's worth it to me just to do it all within Base44 and deploy within Base44. There's also some cool security features. So right off the bat, we can see it sees 2 row level security issues that it should fix. This is really important to do. Actually, it says out of date. So why don't we run a security scan just to see if anything was updated on the last work that Base44 did. But you want to run this security scan before you publish it, just to make sure that you're not potentially leaking any data. If you don't run this, it's very possible that you could be, but it's nice that Base44 has this built in. Okay, so yeah, it's up to date. There are 2 issues, so let's fix them. So if you click fix all, it's going to go ahead and fix these issues. So now it's down to 1 RLS issue. Basically what that means is we need to make sure that only the creator can update or delete recipes, for example. Cool. All right. So we updated all of our security. There's custom code, so you can read all the code. If you upgrade your plan, you can edit it. But in most cases, you're probably just going to want the agent to actually write all the code. There's automations, so you can run automations in your app. This allows you to enable backend functions, which is a more advanced feature. Now, before we deploy, let's add one more feature to this app. So I'm going to add fields for nutritional information to the recipe entity and display a daily or weekly summary of these values in the meal plan viewer. So we're going to let it add that feature. We're going to see how it does, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually deploy an app on Base44. Deploying means that your app or website is going to be available on any browser. Anyone can access it, not just you here in the editor. So it added the feature, and now I'm asking it to go into the database and add nutrition to the sample recipes. So we can see here the agent is reading the recipes, it's updating the records. So it's cool to see this all in the like what it's doing. And then because it's updating the database, we're going to go ahead and approve. Perfect. So we're going to go into I'll refresh the page here. So now if you go into the dashboard, into the data recipe, and we go into the database, we can see calories, protein, carbs, all of that is entered. And now we can see in the recipe card, you do have to refresh on a data update here like that. We can see the nutritional info is being shown in the cards. And then on the meal plan, it also shows the nutrition info as well. Very, very cool feature. All right, so what I want to do now is show you how we can publish the apps. It's as simple as going to the top right. We can edit the URL of the built-in Base44 URL. And then again, if you upgrade, you can actually add a custom domain. For app visibility, we can do public no login, public login required, or private login required. So let's do public login required for now, and we're going to publish the app. So the app is now published and live online. That took like a second. So let's copy it, or actually let's just click and open it. So here we are. This is what I was talking about before, where you would have to log in to actually access your account. I can also sign up. So I'll create an account here, and they're going to send us a code to verify our account. So I verified it, and here we go. We can now actually view the app. And then under meal plan, you'll see this is now empty because the meal plans are unique to each person, while the recipes are viewable by everyone. On the other account that we were testing on, we added the green curry for dinner, but here it's our own meal plan that we can create as a user. Leave a comment below to let me know what you want me to cover next. I think Base44 is one of the easiest ways to get started with vibe coding and building apps, websites, and automations. They also have a really cool super agent feature, which is like OpenClaw, but a lot easier to use. So if you've heard of OpenClaw and you want to check out an agent like that, Base44 also has something for you with that. And subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more free content like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.